What's going on, guys? JPS back for another video, and today we're going to be reacting to what do Europeans really think of Americans. We've got a few different European countries represented in this one, and it should be an interesting watch. This video comes from January of 2023, so just over 2 years ago, before Trump has now been reelected, and we'll see what these people think about us Americans. We're a crazy bunch, as you all know, but we do have a lot of love for Europe, and many Americans take a lot of inspiration from Europe. They visit there and, want to make their life better, or it really opens their eyes to some of the things we have going on in the United States that are just not conducive to a happy or good lifestyle. So I'm definitely one of those Americans, and guys, I'm literally graduating from university next month. So after that, I'll be out into the real world, and I'm hoping to come back to Europe and in the future, hopefully in a more long-term capacity. So we'll see how all that goes. But shout out to all you guys in Europe and all your different European countries. We appreciate all you guys, despite what our president may say. Much love to everyone in Europe. Let's get right into this and see, what do you guys think about us Americans? Let's go.
What are your impressions of America right now?
So this kind of consumerist way, I didn't really like it, to be honest. I didn't see humbleness in it.
My impression is that the country is pretty divided.
Maybe very polarized country.
You're pulling in so many different directions. Each one of them is getting more and more radical, it seems like.
What you sold us in movies and on other media is not what real America is, what real US is.
I think the news are just so negative that it's easy to forget that it's also, in many ways, it seems to me, a great country.
What do European people think of Americans? Keep watching this video to find out.
Crap, dude.
Europeans have kind of gotten.
I think this guy needs to learn how to edit videos with the background music. But though we had a lot of different opinions in that introduction. Oh my.
Kind of a superiority complex towards Americans. I think
yeah.
a lot of Europeans are there's just so much stuff and so many people in America who just seem so out of it. It's just so many weird ways of thinking that. But I think. I don't think it's true that Europeans aren't that way. It just seems that there are more Americans who just can make themselves believe anything. And I think also the politics in America, a lot of Europeans, especially Norwegians, we have kind of a belief system which in many ways clashes with the American belief system, with healthcare.
Oh yeah.
A lot of that individuality and capitalist system, and in Norway
abortion,
we're more
maybe?
kind of and abortion, the intense freedom. Everybody does their own thing. I will not be limited by gun laws and whatever. In Norway we're kind of more of a we have more of a socialist foundation. So I think it's easy for Norwegians to kind of look down on Americans and think that they're being very stupid, but I don't think it's true that all Americans, obviously not all Americans are like that, and it seems there's a lot of differences between the states, but I don't know, it's just it's a very different belief system, I think.
Very true.
Funny story, I was just in America for 6 months this spring. I was an exchange student there in California. I've been to America a couple of times, and it's always a great country to visit, but of course the media coverage isn't always projecting positive things, a lot of complications with the president or with the abortion laws, and I feel the country, my impression is that the country is pretty divided, and just into two different parties. So if you hear a lot of things that you maybe don't think is the best way to solve some issues, but all in all, America has always been the big brother of the North, Norway. So So it's not all bad.
I've not been to America so much. I visited her in Easter. So most of the knowledge about America comes from the media, and yeah, as she said, it seems to be a bit divided into two parties. That's pretty much what I know.
I think people think it's very chaotic,
Yes.
very polarized.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, but you know, it's now we're probably only going to mention the negatives, right? Because that's what you get in the news. So sure, America has problems, but so does
Norway.
So does everyone.
Yeah, we all do.
I gotta say, guys, in every one of these interviews from these people, they're all like acknowledging that the media does paint a negative picture of the United States constantly. Like all these people in Norway, like literally every single one of them have said that, which is quite surprising because I feel like not always, but Europeans, when they get a platform to speak about Americans, it can quickly turn into a bashing of us, which I understand completely. Like, I'm not holding that against anybody, but it's interesting to see how measured some of these interviews have been and how they are acknowledging that bias of, you know, you've never really been to the place. And a lot of what you're hearing is from sources that want you to feel angry, or because that's why they keep on going. Like, but at the end of the day, also some of this news, it's just the news. Like the stuff that's coming out of our country is crazy. So I can't, like, no matter what type of narrative there is or who is projecting that news, it's, if you get objective news from the United States and you hear that, like some of the things that happen in our country, it's just mental. Like the school shootings and stuff, doesn't matter who's writing about that. The fact that there's a school shooting in our country is just, it's disgusting, honestly, and continues to happen no matter what. But I really like these people. Wow.
But so does
Norway.
Looks like we're in Oslo as well.
So does everyone.
Yeah, we all do.
I think then the news are just so negative that it's easy to forget that it's also, it's in many ways it seems to me a great country. But I think people think about the things they see in the news, and the news just tend to focus on bad things. Unfortunately, most people see America in black and white, which is what we should try not to do, because then we're just keeping it polarized in a sense. We're reinforcing that that polarization. Yeah.
What's your impression of people in my country, or just my country in general right now?
I guess very friendly and extroverted and talkative. I guess this is maybe like very polarized country when it comes to like politics, that is very conservative and like capitalistic.
How I see America and Americans right now, it's big contrasts, and I would say the country of getting more and more difficult for me to express this, but express that, but it looks like it could be both very engaged, very scientific, and you know, leader in many fields. And on the other side, it's also a country of coming with the most dumb ideas and you know, very shallow approach to the life and so on. So
that is an amazing point. I was literally thinking about this. How do we have some of the top research facilities? We're promoting groundbreaking research and studies, building and innovating all of these amazing new things, cutting edge technology, and then we don't even have a train that works. Like a basic like, this is the best point of them all. Like, honestly, United States, we're so advanced in a lot of different ways, But then in other ways, in basic fundamental ways, we're completely backwards. It makes no sense. It's kind of like having the super rich and then just having way too many poor people and homeless people, like proportionally to the amount of wealth that there is in our country. It's mind-boggling. So this is a great point. We've moved on to Poland. Want to hear what these people have to say. Great video so far. I do like this street style of interview and giving these people a chance to talk and express themselves, because I'm sure for a few of them, English is not their first language or a language that they speak all the time. So the ability to express these ideas and opinions in the way that they're doing so is quite impressive. I can tell they're trying to find the right words, but they're doing a great job. But I literally was just thinking about that. I'm like, it doesn't make sense. We're building the next AI robot that's going to defeat the world, but we can't get some people some food, bro. It's quite sad, honestly.
A lot of contrast, and thinking about politics, such a big country, and you cannot find a single person that could be a really decent president.
Yeah.
But I feel the same way in Poland. I mean, there's nearly 40 million of us, and we didn't have a good president either. So somehow this is a thing. I would say politically we consider right now it's more stable having Biden as a president. Of course, Trump was considered as somebody totally unpredictable, not really the guy of politics, and we could see these days also some reports that probably not the most ethical person.
That's an understatement.
And,
there.
The way we see it also, that it's country probably good for young and wealthy people, healthy people and wealthy people.
Yeah.
Because in a way, what we hear, the cost of the healthcare, for instance, seems not to be the way that developed countries should handle it. But on the other hand, we see it from the distance. We are not living there, so it's just an impression. We don't know how it is for real.
Bro, such a good interview here. This guy, oh my God. I just love, the ability to really understand that it's like you have not been there, so it's only an impression in some ways, which is true. But then also talking about Poland not having the best president, because again, talking bad about the United States, every place has problems. So to completely ignore your own problems is just, I don't think it's fully fair. And I do like how in a lot of these interviews, people have brought that up. Not only that they, it's an impression, it's the news and stuff, but also that open-mindedness and humility is just something I've really loved in these interviews. These are some amazing people. To be fed all of this information and to still have that opinion that I have to give it a chance. Once I actually go there, I have to give them credit, because I don't know if I would feel that way if I were living in Europe and had never visited the United States. Wow, good stuff. Shout out to these people. Now we're going to Hungary. Okay.
For real over there.
Got some very different countries here.
Impressions of America right now, of the people there, of the country.
I've never been, so I cannot really judge. When I used to live abroad, I met a lot of Americans. To be honest, I didn't have the best experiences, but that's those people, right? So
Yeah.
I had this, and also I consume a lot of American TV and a lot of movies, so I think in the middle of Europe we get a lot of your culture, in this kind of lens from the movies and the music, and so we actually know a lot without even being there, So I mean, I find beauty in it, but I don't know, it's hard to say. So this kind of consumerist way that you think, or at least what I witnessed with this couple of people I met during my journeys, I didn't really like it, to be honest. I didn't see humbleness in it,
Yeah.
And so that wasn't the best experience, but obviously I met some, you are a really nice guy,
Thank you.
And I met an American actor who was really cool,
Really?
he was so sweet, and so kind and so respectable, so I mean, I don't really think you can generalize people, you have different experiences with different people. So.
Yeah, they're I think there's types of people overall.
Yeah,
like there's a
for
certain
sure.
culture, but then when you get down to individual level,
Yeah, exactly.
people
So I don't want to
differ.
say like I'm not into it, you know, because
Yeah.
I don't know, you know, and I'm sure if I would go there and experience it for myself, like for instance California, I'm sure it's beautiful. And,
Yeah.
You know, there are so many things to do and so many nice people to meet.
Exactly.
So I don't know. I mean, and you have really great artists, you know, so
Yeah.
that you brought out into the world. So
Yeah, it's a very creative.
Bro,
Yeah,
that lady was so sweet. Oh my God. Every single person in these interviews, guys, is just amazing. I don't understand how this is possible. How did he find these people? But talking about, you know, the pop culture, the movies, the TV shows, the music, all of that, which Americans don't even realize like how widespread that is. Our pop culture is around the world. Like there's people who have seen more American movies than I even know existed, who haven't even been to the United States, but they know more about our film culture than I do. Like a lot of people around the world. And it's talking about artists and stuff like that. The consumerism is very true. I think that's one of our nastiest traits. Always buying things that we don't need to look good in front of people that we don't really care about. That's just the United States. Like, it's always something new to buy. It's just, bro, relax. Like, less is always better. Just live with minimal amount of things. Like, I honestly was someone who used to buy a lot of stuff, clothing and things like that, and shoes and stuff, but I really have mellowed down on in terms of that. And it never was even anything too excessive. It was honestly when I was younger, like 16, 17, 18. I'm 22 now, so it's been a while, but you know, even now, like I say that, but when you're living in this country, it's hard to stray away from the consumerism mentality and lifestyle. But, you know, also talking about how she's only met a few Americans, so she can't speak for all of the United States. I do just love the honesty and just how nice all these people are. Just very nice and friendly and educated as well.
I think you guys are kind of crazy.
Okay.
Like there's just, you're pulling in so many different directions, and each one of them is getting more and more radical, it seems like. There's no more common ground, or at least it's shrinking.
Yes. And you think it's both sides. It's not just like one. It's not like one side or the other.
I mean, I'm all for like left-leaning stuff. Like it's
Yes.
fine, but you can take it to an extreme that like a semi-conservative person would not be okay with, and I don't think that's doing anyone any favors.
Yeah.
Like you can have reforms and still kind of keep with the culture or keep with like values that other people still feel important to them. So I don't. It's very different from any other place in the world. Like I don't. To me, it's just. I don't know. They're just going in too many different directions.
Talking more about politics, I completely get it. We are crazy. We're going to go to Spain now. Yeah, politics in the United States, it's just not really fun to be a part of. No matter what side you're on, you're just constantly angry at somebody. It just sucks. I mean, that's politics in general, but in the United States especially so because of the two-party system. How can you group so many people into two parties? Like, can we just acknowledge that to begin with? It's just mind-boggling, bro. And that's why we have such terrible presidents, is because we get two candidates, two people. Come on.
I'm just curious what your thoughts are on America and like the people of America at this state in time.
I think you American people did it very well with Hollywood and all that stuff, but when you get a little bit into the US culture, you find that what you sold us in movies and on other media is not what real America is, what real US is. And it's true that while the time is going by, we are starting to understand that US is not the center of the world, and we don't have to strictly follow what US is saying and what US people are thinking. I know that also US is divided into ways, as you said before, and I don't know, I think the whole world is changing, and the globalization in English, yeah, is also making people understand that you can get the best parts from all the countries. Of course, US has very good things to aportar, to give to the world. But it's true also that the European people or the people from many other countries can also give a lot to the world, not only the US.
Dude, I'm sorry, guys. For those of you who got your ears blown out, mine got blown out too. This dude's music is so loud, but he conducted some amazing interviews, so for that, I have to thank him. Link to this video will be in the description, guys. But this last guy, this Spanish guy, made some great points. Like, what we've sold to people in movies and things like that is not what we're like at all. It's not. That's kind of what we think we want to be like, or what we want to be perceived as, but it's just not us at all. And yeah, I think the leaders of the world and that whole worldview is shifting. You know, the United States, we're losing a lot of credibility, and people are going to want to become more self-sufficient and not rely on us for certain things, whether it's trade or whether it's listening to us with ideas and policies. You know, I can understand why that's shifting quite a lot. And again, this video was over 2 years old. So if in just 2 years, I'm just imagining how much that has shifted and become even more of a drastic change in terms of viewing the United States as like a world leader or a role model or anything like that. I mean, that might just be down the drain at this point. So at any rate, a great video. Shout out to all the people in this one, and shout out to all you guys watching this. And I thought there were a lot of great points made, a lot of truth in it about the United States and Americans, and very measured opinions and ideas. A lot of humble people who I think are very nice and friendly and have a lot going for them. So again, shout out to all you guys watching this. Appreciate you so much. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.